Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It's January 1st, 2020. So how am I on my fourth truck in 4 months? Well, I'll try to keep it brief because I'm on a 30-minute break. I still have 4 hours yet to drive. And then I'm going to spend the afternoon and evening with my family. And then I have a load that leaves really early tomorrow morning. So for sure, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this video. But I just wanted to wish you all a Happy New Year, let you know what's been going on with me, and tell you about my new truck. So yeah, just yesterday I got this one. It's a brand new 2020 International LT. Beautiful truck, of course. It's an automatic transmission. I'm going to save that for a different video because I came out of one with a manual. Prior to that, I had an automatic, so I'll have some good comparisons to make, but that'll be for a separate video. So how does someone like me get 4 trucks in 4 months? Well, my first truck, after I went through the Get Your CDL program here at Rail, finished phase 2. Phase 3 is when you're solo. That's when you get your very first assigned truck. So that one was a 2020 Freightliner Cascadia. Absolutely beautiful truck. My preference, after having driven both, the older Freightliners, the older Internationals, and the new Freightliner and new Internationals, my preference is for the Freightliner, but we'll save that for a different video. So my first truck, I knew when I got that it was just temporary. I only was going to have it for 2 weeks, and sure enough, when that 2 weeks was done, I got my permanently assigned truck, which was a 2018 Cascadia. It was identical to the 2020 model, only it just had more miles. Drove just the same. All the features were the same. In fact, if I went to sleep in the 2020 model and woke up in the 2018, I wouldn't know the difference except for the odometer. The 2018 model had 100,000 more miles than that brand new one. It was actually a lot smoother. The engine was quieter, the ride, everything about it was smoother than the new model. So it seems like maybe probably takes 100,000 miles for them to break in nicely. So that second truck I had for about 2 months. Now that would have been, I'd still have that truck if I didn't switch fleets. So I was hired as a flatbed driver, and at Rail you get a truck that is specific to flatbed duties. The biggest difference between a flatbed truck and what I'm in now is the flatbed one has 3 large metal boxes on it. One on each side and then one on the back of the sleeper. And that's to hold all the equipment that you use for cargo securement and also for holding tarps. So Rail offered me a really nice spot on a regional fleet. So I'm on a dedicated route right now. And although I still do some flatbed work, and that's with the Conestoga trailer, that's a flatbed 53-foot spread axle trailer, but it's not an open one. It has a roll top. It's like a covered wagon style. So I still do flatbed work, but I also do van work. So I haul dry vans, and Rail required me to have a van truck. They needed the flatbed truck for someone who was going to be towing flatbed trailers all the time. So that's how I got into my third one. That was a 2016 International ProStar with a 10-speed manual transmission. Now that was a nice truck. It was probably the best highway truck of the 3. Now this current truck I have, I've only had for, well, 1 day, so I can't really give it a fair evaluation, although I do know already that it does not ride as nice as the truck I turned in for it. So that 2016 ProStar with the 10-speed manual, that thing held the road better than the 3 other trucks I've had. It felt very heavy. Yeah, it didn't budge. When you were going in a straight line, well, not even. If you were cornering, anything you were doing, it felt planted to the road. It was not squirrely in any way. It just held a line. Whatever line you put it on, that's what it wanted to hold. You hardly had to do anything with the steering wheel. Beautiful truck. I loved the manual transmission, but we'll also save that for a different video. So that one ended up having some issues, as they will when they get higher miles. It was approaching 400,000. It was in the shop on a regular basis. Was not getting great fuel mileage anymore, and it was time for it to go on to wherever and whatever Rail does with them when they take them off the road. So I had just arrived in Chicago 2 nights ago. I shut down for the night in the east side of Chicago, and I was going to deliver, I had an appointment to deliver my load at 8 the following morning. And as I was just a few blocks from the customer yesterday morning, my fleet manager called me and said, "Hey Bob, as soon as you're done with that, head to Gary, we're going to swap trucks." So I didn't know it was coming. That was the first I heard of it, was when he called me. I actually was hoping to get back home for New Year's Eve, but I wasn't about to, pass up the opportunity to get a different truck. So I drove to Gary. It was just a short trip. There were no issues with traffic. I got there pretty quickly. I didn't even know what truck I was going to get until I got there. They handed me the keys, which they had the truck number is stamped on the keys. Walked out there, and lo and behold, it's a brand new International LT. So I should have this truck for a while, as long as I stay on this fleet, or I could, request a transfer to a different fleet at some point if I wanted to. And if it was a van fleet, then I would be able to keep this truck. If I went back to flatbed, I would lose this one and would get whatever flatbed truck was available. So that is how I am on my 4th truck in 4 months. Yeah, they're all nice trucks. Rail takes care of them. The one I just had that had to get turned in for this one, that's the only one of the 4, of course I've only had this one for a day, that had any issues, and that was in a shop on a regular basis. But one of the reasons I chose Rail to get my CDL through and to drive for, and I stated this in the video I made on the Get Your CDL program, was because they had good equipment and good trucks. And they do. Even though I had one of the oldest models in the fleet, whenever there was an issue with it, I just pulled into a terminal and they took care of it either right then or very soon thereafter. I always pulled into a terminal when I was under a load, and I never had to forfeit my load. That's how quickly Rail took care of the mechanical issues. Was if there was going to be an unreasonable delay, I'd have to drop the trailer and someone else would take it. Okay, and so I would obviously lose those miles. And let's just say I was in the shop on a weekly basis with that truck under a load. Not a single time did I have to drop the trailer and give it to someone else. The mechanics always remedied the issue, whether it was with the truck or the trailer, but mostly it was with the truck, and got me back out on the road to where I could keep the load, keep my miles, and still get home for my days off. So Rail does what they need to do to keep this company moving, to maintain its reputation, and to be attractive to people who are wanting to get into trucking and are looking for a company to get their CDL through, or for experienced drivers who are maybe out there with a company that doesn't take care of their equipment or their trucks, and they're looking for a company that does. So yeah, that is why that's how I'm on my 4th truck in 4 months. Hopefully I can keep this one for a while. I hope you all have a great new year, and I need to get rolling. So thanks for sticking with me. I will see you in the next video.